Good afternoon and happy Friday. I know I'm on a few minutes early, and that's okay. I thought it would be good to get myself a little bit familiar with our Facebook Live system. And this is live, so right now you might hear my dog in the background. Looking to see how this is going to play out. Hi, looks like we're getting some folks on, which is absolutely fantastic. Let me add in a comment here and note real quickly who we are, which is IFNS. I'll also, or the Institute for the Advancement of Food and Nutrition Sciences, also want to type in my name while we've got folks starting to join in. Okay. And it looks like we're getting some folks on, which is absolutely terrific. I just typed in my name, which is Gwendolyn Jones, and I know those of you who are joining from the Build Up Dietitians community have seen the logo that we have that's kind of multicolored and it says IFNS, and you've been wondering who is IFNS. So IFNS is the Institute for the Advancement of Food and Nutrition Sciences. And my name is Gwendolyn Jones, and I'm the executive director here at IFNS. We've got folks who are starting to click in, and I know we're still a few minutes. We still have a few more minutes until we hit the top of the hour. So, thought I would just kind of say who it is that's sitting here talking at all of you. But I really am hoping that this is not a case of me talking at anyone, but rather that we can start to open up a dialogue on food and nutrition sciences. All right, we're definitely starting to get some more folks coming in, which is absolutely critical and important. So that's great. That is great. Okay. So as folks are starting to join in, let me know if you want to type in a little bit on where you are connecting to us from. I will want to share that I'm in the greater Washington, D.C. area. And if this was a day in February, this would be an absolutely lovely February day. Unfortunately, it is, May 6th, and it is cold and rainy and damp, and we will probably wind up maybe even having to turn the heat on a little bit this evening, which is a little bit different from what we usually have in early May weather in Washington, D.C. So that hopefully also explains why I have on a fuzzy jacket. It's because it's running a little bit colder than typical this time of year. So let's see. where we can see where folks are dialing in from to join the discussion. So, all right, we're getting a few more folks clicking in, which is absolutely fantastic. So, as we get going here today, want to encourage folks to type in questions and comments, and I'll definitely do my best to read and respond to all of those. As I noted, my name is Wendelin Jones, and I am the Executive Director at IAFNS, or the Institute for the Advancement of Food and Nutrition Sciences. While you're sitting here going, okay, that's great, it's an institute, you've already shared that the weather is miserable in Washington, D.C. today. Does that mean that you all at IAFNS are a lobbying organization because you're based in D.C.? No, we are not. We are a science organization, and as our name implies, we are focused on food and nutritional sciences. What we are is a nonprofit science research organization. We are structured and set up to drive, fund, and lead actionable research. We do this through a couple of different mechanisms. These mechanisms can include funding external scientists, right? So if there is a research idea put forward, we will issue an RFP and we award grants to researchers in the US, in Canada. We even have some in Europe, and that is absolutely core to what we do from the funding science component. But what we also do in the science arena is we have a particular emphasis on mobilizing knowledge. So that's going to get into a little bit about how it is that we at IAFNS got to know the Build Up Dietitians community. In that, one of the things that we do with that mobilizing knowledge is we offer webinars. Many of these webinars and other events are free and open to the public. With that, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about who we are as an organization, right, and share further details around some of our resources that we have available for mobilizing knowledge. I'm going to go ahead and paste in our website into the comment box, which is right here. Let me do that. Paste that in, which is ifns.org. If you're like me and maybe having to struggle to find where that comment box is, I'll also hold up. Here is our email address. So it is IAFNS, IAFNS.org. Now I'm sitting here saying, let me share with you about IAFNS, who we are, what we do. Right? So let's talk first about who we are. I noted that we drive, fund, and lead actionable research. We are focused on advancing public health. Okay? So we're purposely focused on driving, funding, and leading actionable research in the food and nutrition areas to advance public health. Part of that, obviously, means that we have to mobilize that knowledge. That means we have to not only have members who are willing to work with us, but also communication outlets that we can reach. So let me first tell you a little bit about who our members are. IAFNS members include scientists, dietitians, others from government, industry, and academia. Okay? So our members include whether it's nutritionists who work at some of the large consumer-facing brands, right? Maybe it is researchers working in food safety at some of the ingredient suppliers, right? We count them. We also count scientists who work at FDA, who work at USDA, who work at Health Canada, right? And other places as our members. And then, of course, from the academic side, we have members who provide academic advising, so to speak. Okay, so they provide science advising that come to us from universities across the US, Canada, and we're proud to say we even now have some who are advising from Europe. So we have folks who work with different scientific committees at IAFNS from universities like Purdue, okay, like North Carolina State, like UC Davis. I can keep going if you want to ask whether or not we have anything going with your current school or your alma mater. Please go ahead and type that in, and we can definitely I can definitely try and answer whether we have representatives from, Wageningen, for example, right? We have a professor there who serves as one of our advisors for one of our scientific committees. So I've talked about who we are, right? From our purpose being developing actionable science. I've talked about who our members are from government, industry, and academia. Let me share a little bit about the type of work that we do in food and nutrition sciences and share a little bit, and this is actually found on our website, ifns.org, IAFNS.org, under our scientific committees. So we have 11 scientific committees that are currently active. They cover topics from low and no calorie sweeteners to sodium on the other side. They cover topics like food allergens, which is part of our Food and Chemical Safety Committee. We have programs that look at foodborne pathogens. That's obviously in our Food Microbiology Committee. We have a committee that's looking at cognitive health, right, and the role of diet and bioactives and food in cognitive health. That's a new working group that we have launched. We have a committee that's looking at protein quality, etc. So we have a whole wide variety of areas of inquiry, which is what we call them, a whole wide variety of areas of inquiry that we are very active in. Now, I mentioned previously that a certain amount of what we do as IAFNS is driving, funding, and leading actionable research. And I also talked a little bit about the importance of mobilizing knowledge. And that's bringing me to a key comment that I want to highlight here, which is also on our website, and that is we offer free continuing education units for many of our webinars. I would love to say we do it for all, because we touch on some topics that may not be entirely relevant for the practicing RDN community. We don't do that, but we offer and have on our website many free continuing education unit classes. So, two ways to do it. And the first one I'm going to highlight is, join us for one of our webinars. For example, on May 17th, we are starting a 3-part series with the Arkansas Children's Nutrition Research Center down in Arkansas. It's a 3-part series looking at nutrition and childhood development and nutrition and maternal health. And with those 3 webinar series, okay, so it's 3 different dates across May. Those are free and open to the public, and if you register, you can earn CEU credits. It's just a matter of going on to our website, which is IAFNS.org, going over onto the right-hand side of the website where it says events and education, and just click on events, upcoming events, and we have that entire listing which shows our activities where we are looking to emphasize that translational aspect of the science that we are catalyzing. So we have lots of opportunities for folks to join us live in webinars. Now, perhaps you're saying, that's great. There's no way I can step out in the course of my day to know that I can always make those webinars. So, Wendelin, what are my options? What can I do? Well, on our website again, IAFNS.org, all you have to do is go over again to that right-hand side where it says events, go under that, and it says education. When you click on that education button, what you'll wind up seeing is that we have a whole listing of pre-recorded webinars that if you watch and then complete the form, you can then earn free CEU credits. The topics covered in those the topics covered genuinely range from low and no calorie sweeteners to sodium. We've got a whole bunch of work going on in gut microbiome, for example. So all you have to do is sign up, right? Just go to our website, watch the video, and you can earn CEU credits that way. You know, that's a great way, and one of the big reasons that we are here talking with the Build Up Dietitians community, right? This is because what we know is that this science that we're catalyzing, right, can only lead to positive impact and advance public health if we purposefully get out and share it. And it is that wanting to promote science, to inform evidence-based decision-making, that really is key and really is very foundational to us realizing our ambition of supporting a world where science and evidence informs decision-making for all, from consumers to policymakers. So we're trying to go in that entire arena, and part of delivering on that means that we absolutely must be open and transparent and share all of our work. Now, you're sitting here and you're asking and saying, great, okay, so I got that I can go to the website. Perfect. I can go to IAFNS.org and look up everything I want to kind of see there. But, you know, Wendelin, is there a way to more directly, I'm going to say, follow what's going on at IAFNS? Now, I'll just quickly note, we as an organization are much bigger. We have a much stronger presence on LinkedIn, okay? And within that LinkedIn presence, if you were to follow us on LinkedIn, and I hope that you do, we do post frequently on LinkedIn where we share not only, gee, this peer-reviewed publication came out and that science in that peer-reviewed publication was supported by IAFNS, but we also are very active in sharing on LinkedIn upcoming webinars where you can earn CEU credits. But we also share on LinkedIn, hey, did you know, in case you missed that webinar, the link is now up on our website and you can go ahead and watch that video and earn CEU credits that way. So just posted in the comment box are the link to our LinkedIn channel, okay, because that is where we tend to be much more active than on Facebook. It's you know, we are a small organization, so you have to sometimes make some decisions. Now, as I've been talking, and know that I'm very open to answering questions that you have about our organization. I also want to take a moment and kind of share with you what has been shared on other social media channels already, right? I know I saw it go out on both Twitter and elsewhere that IFNS is holding its annual meeting in June this year. And this meeting is a hybrid meeting, which means that we have purposely allowed and are expecting some really great participation from those who are not able to come to Washington, D.C. in June. And we are pleased to offer a significantly discounted rate for the Build Up Dietitians community to join us at our annual meeting. Okay. As we look at the annual meeting, and I'm going to go ahead and post the link, the specific link to our website where where you can register for the annual meeting, etc. Right. What you're going to want to do is visit our annual meeting website, and then if you type in the Build Up discount code, you can it's significantly discounted, right? For the Build Up Dietitians community, we're pleased to offer registration at $50, okay? And that we have sought 6 continuing education credit units for our events, our scientific sessions on June 22nd and June 23rd. While I'm continuing to talk about that and I'm seeing some questions come in, I will also note, because we're pretty excited about this, we have Dr. Susan Maines, Director of CIFSAN, providing our keynote address that day. So that's pretty exciting. So I saw a question come in asking about how many dietitians we have working as members of IFNS. So that's a little hard for me to give a specific number on, okay? But what I can tell you, off the top of my head, I can't answer that, but what I can tell you is that, we have 10 staff members, okay? 2 are RDNs, so we're really proud about that. Our reach includes, and I'll just sit there and say this, so ASN, American Society for Nutrition's having their annual meeting also in June, right? We are presenting there, and I believe one of our presenters for that panel is an RDN. We're also very pleased that IFNS will be represented at 2 FNCE sessions this fall, where obviously FNCE is a group that all of you know very, very well. So we're doing that. So we've got a question here on what's the history of IFNS, why was it established, etc. Right. So IFNS represents and is an evolution, a transformation from a prior organization which was known as ILSI North America. IFNS launched as an independent organization entirely separate from ILSI in February of 2021. With our launch, and according to our bylaws in February 2021, we have made some very strong commitments because we do understand the importance of balancing public sector and private sector in the food and nutrition space. Our board must be majority public sector, which means scientists from government or scientists from academia. Further, as IFNS, we have that representation from government, industry, and academia, not only just at the board level, but down at the committee levels. I know I mentioned, for example, that we work with 11 different committees right now. If you go to our website and click on any of those committees, what you'll wind up finding is, wait, here's a list of industry who's involved. Here's a list of academic advisors who are involved. And here's a list of our government liaisons. We were founded because there is a need to bring together, to solve those big questions that can't be solved. There is a need to bring together the multiple voices, okay? And if you bring together the viewpoints of folks from government, from industry, and from academia, you can identify those unmet needs, okay, and actually advance forward. This is where we as an organization are focused on bringing more voices together to speak and work collaboratively, right? This is about pulling folks together, because at the end of the day, we want science to really be leading the way, right? And to that end, right? And we're all living right now, okay, with the various dynamics that are playing out in very, very real time. It's important to note that while there is this, and I know I feel it, this increasing divisiveness going on broadly in our society, if not the world, the solution is actually about pulling everyone together, right? So, you can sit there and go, wait a second, and I'll just touch on real quick, one of the projects that we have just completed around sodium in food, right? We were keen on that clear public health impact that is absolutely known, right? And wait a second, how do you wind up getting a better sense on, wait, if sodium were reduced through, I'll say, different processing options, okay? If sodium were reduced through different processing options, etc., right? And replacement processes used, etc., would that actually wind up shifting the sodium consumption for the average U.S. Citizen? Would that wind up shifting it down towards where FDA has now gone out with its guidance as saying needs to be the target, right? Well, we actually, in advance of FDA's announcement earlier this year, we actually published, I think it came out late last year, maybe very beginning of this year, we actually published that exact study, which said, okay, based on NHANES data, this is the top, these are the top food groups that are consumed by Americans. What happens if we take just those top 10 food groups, look specifically at that, taking into account what is practicable and reasonable, using input that really came from the academics on what is practicable and usable, would we actually be able to shift down that sodium consumption? The answer was yes. So that's just a flavor of what it is that we do. So let me look and see if there are other questions coming in, right? We have, as I noted, we've got a website, okay? And on the website we have our, on the website, we have lots of information, including information on our annual meeting that's coming up, okay? There's a couple of topics there that I'll just allude to real quick as to what would be of probably greatest interest to the RD community, and that would be, we're doing a session on personalized nutrition, right, versus population dietary guidelines, right? There's a big disconnect, right? And we're going to do a session that kind of talks about personalized nutrition versus, population level dietary guidelines. That's one of our sessions. We're doing another session, for example, and this one I at least hope that you're interested in, right? Talking about different food safety challenges that have arisen candidly due to the pandemic. So, for example, we have one talk in that last mile food safety that's going to talk about food safety of meat delivered via e commerce type solutions. Kind of different. It's out there and it's something that we all need to be thinking about. Okay. We have another session on the triad on sleep, exercise, and health, where we're going to actually hear from researchers at the Army, right? Because they're very keen on that triad component around what does that need to look like. We will also have a session at the annual meeting that talks about aligning headlines with science. So we've got two journalists coming in to be part of the discussion. It's going to be a panel discussion. And within that component, we're going to hear from journalists, right, as they talk about how do we navigate the headlines that come out, right, versus what that science says. And I know all of you who are in the RDN community battle this all the time. I know I do, which is, the latest headline comes along and, whether it is my mother, my sister, my friend, my neighbor, it's like, oh, but I read about this. Is that true, right? So let's actually talk about exploring how do we do a better job? What can be done to do a better job between aligning the headline with the science? So that's just a quick flavor of what we will be sharing and delivering as part of our annual meeting on June 22nd and 23rd. I know we're coming to the end of our time here, but I sincerely hope, and I'm going to pull this back up again, I sincerely hope that all of you will visit our website, ifns.org, and check out the resources we have available. As noted on the right hand side, we've got events that you can attend for free and earn CEU credits. We also have a library, again on the right hand side under events and education, on the education side where you can freely at your own time watch the recorded sessions and earn some free CEU credits. Most importantly, we hope that you do continue to connect with us on LinkedIn and or via our website, because we know that it is only by working together, right, expanding everyone's community, that we can advance public health. So please note, my last thing I'll go ahead and do and put in the comment here is my email, in case you all would like to email me directly. If you have any follow-up questions, you can email me at wendolyn@ifns.org. So I hope everybody has a good rest of their Friday, and please be following us. Please connect with us, because it is only, again, by connections that we can advance science for impact. So thanks so much, everyone. Happy Friday.